So Rama Rao's niece, a pretty girl of 11, had come to stay. Now this 11 years old tell us that child marriages were prevalent at that time in India, right? So child marriages were quite prevalent. And I'm on, see, you can see page number 19. Okay. Rama Rao's niece, a pretty girl of 11, had come to stay with him. She was from a big town, so she knew how to play the veena and the harmonium. She also had a sweet voice. Both her parents had died and her uncle had brought her home. Ranga was just the boy for her. This is whose notion? The narrator's notion that this girl, Ratna, was suitable for Ranga. And he was a strategist, so he planned. So you can imagine a boy of, okay, let me admit few more. Now, dear students, let's move further. Keep your cams on, videos on, I mean to say. Okay? The videos are not, on. Right? So, now since I was a frequent visitor to Rama Rao's place, the girl was quite free with me. And the very next morning, I went to the house and told Rama Rao's wife. And then he arranged a meeting for Ranga and Ratna. How he arranged? He went to Ratna's house and called Ranga there. Now, this all we had completed the previous day, right? So, this was the point where actually we had to start because of connectivity and all. We couldn't continue that day. I have no headache. I'm as my usual self. I went through the same thing when the process of choosing a girl for me was going on, but I don't think that could be a reason for your present condition. Ranga stared at me. Come, let's go and see the Shastri. Now, when he went and he arranged a meeting like a strategist, Ratna stopped singing. She felt shy. She left the place. Ranga kept on saying in sophisticated manner, I must leave. He did not leave. So then the strategy, this strategist narrator of ours planned to go to Shastri. Who is a Shastri? Astrologer. Very good. Children have made their cams on, one or two. So videos on. Now let's move further little, because we have understood the lesson. Now Shastri was being contacted. Who is the Shastri? Astrologer. What the astrologer does, matches the horoscopes, and when he matches the horoscope, he tells, okay, this guy is perfect for this girl, or this girl is perfect as per the stars. So our narrator was a strategist. As I said, what he did was he arranged and taught everything to the Shastri, that when Ranga will come, you will have to speak all these things, right? I hope you have understood this much part. Shama is none other than your servant, the narrator of this tale, and he reveals his name also, that I'm Shama, who has been telling you this story, dear readers. And when they went to Shastri, now I'm somewhere on the middle of this page, that is page number 22. Shastri turned to Ranga. When did the young son of our accountant clerk come home? What can I do for him? It is rarely that he visits us. Take out your paraphernalia. The Shastri, the Purohit, took out all his books from where they see the stars and all. Ah, Rangappa seems to have something on his mind. Can you tell what is worrying him? Shall we put your science of astrology to the test? So narrator, Ranga, and the third person is astrologer. After making Ranga and Ratna meet, because Ranga was not interested in getting married right at this stage. And he said, I'll get married after a few years and when I'll get the right girl, the mature girl. But the strategist, the narrator of our story, is very much interested in getting Ranga getting married. So coming to the title of the story, Ranga's marriage, initiated by the narrator Shama, And in that, he takes several steps. The lesson started with the description of the village, the description of influence of English on people, which are the core points in the lesson. And third, how Ranga got married. Right? So this way they went to the Shastri, and they are calling him Shastri in the lesson, the astrologer. So there was authority in my voice. I spoke to Shastri. He took out 2 sheets of paper, some cowries, and a book of palmyra leaves, saying, ours is an ancient science, Aya. There's a story to it, but I won't tell you the story now. This is not a Hari Katha which allows you to tell a story within a story. You may get bored. I'll tell it to you some other time. Shastri moved it fast, opened his books, and told about that Ranga is thinking about some girl. Who is that girl? It is your humble servant who asked this question, dear readers. So Shastri thought for a while before replying. She probably has the name something found in the ocean. Kamala, maybe. He already knows who is the girl. Now the question in NCRT is, do the astrologers use what we tell them and then they expand and elaborate, or do they have this knowledge to predict the future of the people, or they just move on hearsay and conjecture and guesses and all? This is NCRT question also that we'll share. Moving on to the next part of the story, they talk there, and Ratna, finally he comes to the point. Ratna, the girl in Rama Rao's house is Ratna. Tell me, is there any chance of our negotiations bearing fruit? Is there any chance where Ranga can have negotiations and get married? Negotiations, children, means discussions when some big things are planned. It may be getting people married, or it may be a big business deal. It may be any venture that you are opening. So some negotiations are there, some discussions, some particular things are there that are discussed. So definitely, he said after thinking for some time. There was surprise in Ranga, on Ranga's face. Ranga, the boy who was saying, I'll not get married for another decade or another 5 years, he is now interested, excited, and the plan of narrator is seems successful. So that's why I use the word strategist. Okay, keep your videos on if you can manage. If there's some connectivity, that is other issue, but you all can manage, I know. So keep your videos on as per the regulations, rules, protocols. Right? Very good. Now we left the place. On the way, we passed Rama Rao's house. Ratna was standing at the door. I went it alone and came out a minute later. Because our narrator had played a trick on Ranga that Ratna is already married. Ratna got married many years ago. Right? Many years means when she was a very young girl. In villages, they get married and then they keep on continuing the life this way. Now, so surprising that this girl isn't married. Then the narrator informed Ranga that went inside and came back and played a trick and said, no, Ratna is not married. Now Rangappa was very happy. And I do not know whether anyone else would have been direct. Ranga admitted there's greater truth in the Shastra. And he was impressed by Ranga was now the boy with the English cult, the boy who has come after few months of studies in a different ambience, was impressed by the ancient science of astrology. What a marvelous Shastra yours is. He didn't like it at all, but I met the Shastri in the evening, the narrator says, and I mocked at him and said, what a wonderful Shastra is yours, right? Because he had taught the Shastri that what he has to speak. And this way, the ending of the story, it was Shama's birthday. Now, another Shama is there in the story, who is Ranga's 3-year-old son. The ending of the story justifies that Ranga and Ratna were married, and there was the son, 3-year-old Shama, and I am like a dark piece of oil cake. Why did you give your golden child? Why did you give that golden child of yours such a name? What a childish couple you are, Ratna and you. So he invites the narrator to his son's birthday, whom he has given the name Shama. That means the narrator's name has been given to the young son of Ranga and Ratna. And it is the English custom, the naming the child after the person whom you like. In India, we don't have this trend. Maybe we have, inwardly we follow this. Your wife is 8 months pregnant now. Who is there to help your mother to cook? So their family life is running nicely. And my sister has come with her. I went there for dinner. Shama rushed to me when I walked in and put his arms around my legs. I kissed him on his cheek. Now elder Shama is kissing the younger Shama, Ranga's son. And the story, happy-go-lucky, happy ending with poetic justice. When the stories are ended happily, we call them happy endings and justifying endings for the, you can say, children. Allow me to take leave of you, reader. I'm always there, ready to serve you. You were not bored, I hope. So the story, he's confirming that I hope you were not bored. So different readers, different perceptions come. I wish that you must see the question answers. 3 questions I've written on the board, also the same. Comment on the influence of English, the language, the way of life on Indian life as reflected in the story. What is the narrator's attitude to English? Astrologers' perceptions are based more on hearsay and conjecture than what they learn from the study of the stars. Comment with the reference of the story. You can take out, open your book also. You can see the screen also. Now, Indian society has moved a long way from the way the marriage is arranged in the story. Discuss. What kind of person do you think the narrator is? Very, very important question. Question number first and question number fourth. That is, comment on the influence of English and what kind of person do you think the narrator is? We'll share these answers, right? Okay. Yes. Now, dear students, again, I'm reminding videos on. What kind of person do you think the narrator is? What kind of person do you think the narrator is? We'll discuss these answers, but before that, okay. Okay. Let me share it again so that you can see all these 3 questions. See, dear students, these are NCERT questions. If you prepare these 3 questions, as I've discussed the answers, these 3 questions will enable you to write another set of few more answers. Whenever you prepare the lesson in the class, most importantly, you have to read the story, understand the story. Please do follow the NCERT questions. What kind of a person do you think the narrator is? That is the character sketch of narrator, Shama. I'm again repeating, dark in color, calls himself a dark piece of cake, an elderly gentleman, a keen observer, does not approve of English, a purist, who is pained at the indiscriminate use of English in Kannada conversation, well-mannered gentleman, a good strategist. I hope recapitulation is, clear. Then astrologers' perceptions are based on guesses and hearsay. What they hear, they say. Of course, it is very true. Astrologers in the story are in unfavorable light. The narrator tutored the astrologer to trick Ranga, which is not a good sign. An unwilling boy who did not want to get married now is ready to get married because of our strategist, right? Then moreover, that particular evening, the Shastri was being congratulated. What a wonderful Shastra yours is. The Shastri did not like all this mocking. Then, so this was the signs of astrology. Then I said 6 marks question. I'm repeating. Those who are like not those who are not able to pay attention, please comment on the influence of English language and the English way of life on Indian life as reflected in the story. Now I give you a question to ponder, to think. This was the Indian influence on Indian life. Right by the side today, how the society is influenced, like you and me, how we are influenced by the English ways. Are we not? If yes, how much extent? What are those things? Like the narrator's name was Shama. Ranga named his son Shama because he liked him. And this was one of the English way of giving name someone whom you like. So how much we are aping the other cultures, or we are stick to our own things, or whether it is good, bad, whether it is okay, fine, you need to ponder. The chapter has given us an opportunity that how Shama was named and how the Ranga was influenced by this English culture, right? So English language has made inroads into Indian countryside. Even villages now are well aware. And my dear students, today we are in the age we call Generation Z. Click on generation. You people wonderful. So we are, the world has shrunk and we know each other no matter wherever we are sitting, in one corner or on the poles, right? Extreme, but internet technology has brought us closer. So I'm ending my class, and you can see the highlighted points. Intervention of English into Indian countryside, inroads, and then English words even while talking in Kannada. So even in Punjabi, Gujarati, Hindi, everywhere if you see today's cult, and then the use of English language before the native. This is an example. Kannada speaker caused confusion in the story also, and the narrator did not approve these ways. So I hope, right, dear students, I hope the chapter is clear. And
Yes, ma'am.
very good. I repeat it so that you can understand. Right? We'll continue in the next class, the writing section topic. Right? So, goodbye. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.